My name is Roush. I graduated from Duke in the spring of 2000 as a public policy major. I live in Chapel Hill with my wife Brooke and 3 kids. I'm Vice President for Sales and Marketing and Business Development for Transenterix. So Transenterix, we're a small company. We're venture capital backed. We've got about 60 employees, and we're advancing surgery through innovation by taking technology that has already pioneered heart surgery and brain surgery, and we're applying that technology in abdominal surgery to make it less invasive for patients so that they can recover more quickly, have less scars on their abdomen, so 1 scar in their belly button rather than 4 or 5 scars spread across their abdomen, and so that's bringing a lot of value to them and to their family. No. When I was a senior, if there's anything that's redeeming about, or that's good about what I anticipated might happen is, Tony said, whatever you think you're going to do, be flexible and sort of let the cards, or let things unfold is basically, I think, the advice that he gave me. And be willing to be bold and do some things different. And so, when I finished at Duke, I was going to work in an enterprise software company, a .com down in Austin, Texas. Had no idea that I'd get into healthcare. But part of my career has really been about uncovering spaces and markets and products and customers that I'm passionate about. And healthcare is a market that I'm passionate about because it's really making a difference for patients and their families. And that's why I do what I do, is that I like to know that the product of my work, being innovative, being creative, thinking about new ways to use existing technologies to deliver care, deliver surgery in a less invasive way, I know that work is making a difference for patients and their families, and that makes me excited. So we were talking this evening with students about the importance of sales, what sales looks like in a career, and how some of those selling skills that are a part of not just the sales function in a company, but also marketing, management, business development functions as well, how some of those skills apply on a college campus. Because sometimes you're selling products, sometimes you're selling services, sometimes you're selling ideas. And understanding what that sales process looks like is important. So that's what we're talking about tonight. One, the importance that you have to believe in what you're selling. So the idea that I'm trying to sell a product that I don't believe in, that does not go well. And so you have to believe in the product that you're selling. That's one thing. The second thing is you have to be willing to invest time in relationships. Products are sold person to person. And so you have to be willing to make investments in a relationship to establish credibility, so that you earn the right to communicate the problem that you want to help a customer solve. And so that's the second thing. The third thing is I think it's important to understand the importance of asking questions and really understanding who your customer is, what are their unmet needs, what are their potential objections, and understanding that before you start to communicate your pitch. The fourth thing would probably be the story that you tell and the value that you want to communicate. We talked a lot tonight about the importance of stories. Stories can go viral very quickly, and stories are a very tangible way of communicating a benefit or a piece of value that you can deliver to a customer. So the importance of stories is maybe the fourth thing. Fifth thing would be you got to be willing to ask for the sale. You can lead somebody down the road, but at the end of the day, if you don't close them, and gain commitment to do something, then you're kind of leaving it short of the cup, using a golf analogy. So those are the 5 things. I think most people bucket sales into sort of a silo. So it's a part of an organization that goes and does their thing. They're the minions that are out there carrying the message forth, carrying the product forth, and doing the dirty work. And the reality is that salespeople in an organization, they're the face of the company, they're the brand, they're how an organization's products are going to be known and appreciated on the street. And they're as important or more important than anyone else in the company, including the CEO. Is a salesperson effective at communicating the idea and convincing the party that they're talking to take some action based on the communication and the information that the salesperson has provided? Can I inspire action? And that action may be, I want to buy product. That action may be, I want to buy services. Action may be, you've changed the way I think about an issue, and that's it's selling an idea. So I it's about results ultimately, and that's actually one of the things that's cool about sales, is it's easier to track results and know whether you're being effective or not. Absolutely. I mean, I would say in order to be a good salesperson, you have to have a high level of integrity. If you don't have a high level of integrity, you're not going to be a good salesperson, because you're going to be saying things that you don't believe. And customers are very smart. And a good salesperson, look, sometimes the right answer isn't to close somebody for a sale. Sometimes the right answer is, it's probably not a good fit here, and that's okay. And so great salespeople understand how to sell with integrity. Good salespeople, any effective salesperson is going to understand how to sell with integrity, and they're not always going to be closing for a sale. Thinking about and then constructing the personal leadership map was by far and away one of the more meaningful experiences I had at Duke, because it forced me to think about sort of where I had been, who I was, and what I wanted to do, and what were the real underlying ethics and values that were a part of my life that I wanted to underpin my career and my personal life too. So a couple of things. Be open-minded about where you're going to end up. I think it's good to have a general sense of what the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life might look like, and it's very important over a lifetime to really understand who you are ethically, morally, things that you believe, things that you don't believe, people you want to associate with and that you want to not associate with, based on whether they share those same values. So I think it's important to have a very good grounding in those things. And I think that's what the personal leadership map helped to do for me, is to actually document what it was that I believed, and then that becomes a reference point or anchor point to refer back to later. But I think in terms of some of the specifics of the functions that you're going to work in, the industries that you're going to work in, some of the problems that you're going to be a part of solving, for-profit, non-profit, international, domestic, there's a lot of specifics that I think you need to sort of follow opportunities as they arise, and be willing to do some things different. Don't feel like you need to follow a career pathway. The pathway that an organization is going to try to push you through is sort of the typical pathway. And I think one of the things that's unique about Duke students is that we're atypical. And so having the courage to not just take that bit and walk through it as a corporate drone, so to speak, is important. I think it's important to be courageous and think about different functions that you might want to be a part of, maybe jumping back and forth between for-profit and non-profit, or jumping back and forth between sales and marketing, business development, big company, small company. I think the diversity of experience, same way diversity at Duke is what makes it great. I think the diversity of experience in one's own career also it informs somebody to make better decisions. The other thing I'd say is that there's too many people that I've hired, or even situations that I've been in personally in my own career, where you start to make decisions in part based on fear. And so you're afraid that people are going to not understand why you made the decision, or you're afraid that, gosh, if this doesn't work out, maybe I'm going to get fired, or I'm afraid that people might laugh at this, or I'm afraid, gosh, this is kind of high risk, and maybe I'm not going to get promoted, or maybe this person's not going to like me. And I think fear is not something that you should let creep into your persona, because it drives a behavior pattern that becomes very risk averse, very safe, very unbold, and that's not how I'm wired, and that's not how most Duke students are wired.